Hello, Twitch. How are we doing today? Welcome back, everybody. My name is Jerry Tejada, and I am a Partner Solutions Architect at AWS. And welcome to Howdy Partner. So joining me here today is a new face, the one and the only Lauren Marble, everybody. Lauren, how are you?
Howdy. Doing well. How are you?
We're great.
Excited to be
Fantastic.
here. Let's do it.
Yeah, same here. We are happy and excited to be here. So, if you're new to Howdy Partner, this is our weekly Twitch series where we bring on AWS partners. They show us their innovative solutions that are vetted by AWS solutions architects like myself and Lauren. And most importantly, they're going to tell us why their solution makes your life easier, why it solves your problems, why it makes your business more efficient, and gets rid of the heavy lifting to make you a better business. Now, I like Howdy Partner because, and I guess streaming in general, because this is meant to be interactive. So please use the chat, ask us questions, send comments, engage with us. Let's make this.
Interrupt people.
Yes, jump in, say whatever you want. Maybe not whatever you want. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the 3D revolution has begun. We've got Apple's new Vision Pro headset that they just announced finally this year. And the Meta Quest 3, that looks awesome too with its AR pass-through. So the 3D party is really just getting started. Now, a big portion of the 3D industry is digital twins, which is what we're going to talk about here today. And Lauren, for those like me who don't know, because I seem to have forgotten, like what even is a digital twin?
It is the greatest thing that could happen to my family, right? Digital version of myself. No, a digital twin from a super high level, very basic means, I'll use an example. If you have a facility and there's lots going on in there's lots of rearranging, there's lots of machines that have temperature restrictions, and so there's sensor data that you can go and check. That digital twin can be many different things, but it can be a version of, say, you go take a LiDAR scan of that facility, and when something changes in there, you also change it in the digital version so that the digital version remains the twin of the actual facility. This can be done in real time or manually. Real time is a little trickier, but it can also mean all of this sensor data that you have and how you integrate that into different things. But either one of them means that you have a digital representation of a space, of a product, of a thing that you can monitor in real time, or slightly less than real time, right? You don't want to get too far away, but mostly that it's just a digital version of the real life things that you don't always have to go down or be in that space in order to get a status, in order to analyze it, in order to go through and do some kind of like fault analysis or failure analysis, if you will. So in a nutshell, that's basically what digital twins are. And here at AWS, we have partners that we work with that create digital twins. And so I'm really excited to share Prevu3D with you today. They've been an amazing partner, and we hope you're as excited to see their demo live as we are.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of partners, exactly, Prevu3D, they're here. They're the digital twin experts, of course. So that's enough from us. Why don't we bring on those experts into the conversation here? Because they are much more knowledgeable than me, at least. So they're going to
And
show
me.
us how you can use, and Lauren, they're going to show us how you can use digital twins, just to accelerate the preliminary design of your facilities and improve efficiency of like asset and inventory management, maintenance, all that good stuff. So let's bring on our friends from Prevu3D, Michel and Phil. Let's get them into the fold here.
Come on down.
All
Hey
right,
guys,
Michel, Phil, how you doing?
Hey.
doing great.
All right, great is great. So excellent. Thank you guys for being here today. Phil, let's start with you. Who are you? What's your background? Anything you want to tell the audience about you? The floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. On my side, I'm Philippe. I'm a software engineer at Prevu3D.
I joined the team 3 years ago. I do have like an industrial automation robotic background, so I was really interested in what Prevu3D is trying to achieve for manufacturing sites. So like that's my background, and then I decided to switch towards software. But the software and the solution that Prevu3D is building is really targeting what I used to do, working like with production lines, robotic cells, things like that. And I joined the team, started as a software engineer. Now I'm customer success manager. So I'm really here to bridge the gap between sales team, project team, collect feedback, make sure like the clients are satisfied with the product. So yeah, make them successful.
Awesome. Michel, floor is yours. I
Yes,
know
my
you're
turn.
dying to
Yeah,
jump in there.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm Michel Besner. I'm the VP of Business Development and Strategy at Prevu3D. I've been in the company for almost 2 years now, but I've been in the 3D space for over 30 years, uh, mostly into entertainment. So some of the software that I've built include Motion Builder that was used for movies like The Matrix, Avatar, and other things like that. And also one of the co-creators of the FBX file format that's often used for 3D interchange in the 3D industry at large, per se. And so, really happy to be here today. And what you're going to see is actually a software that we've built that takes the full power capabilities of Amazon Web Services to take 3D scanning data. So, if you've seen 3D scanning data before, it's basically points in space, point clouds that's very hard to use, hard to visualize. And we convert that into high quality, rich data sets that create the most realistic digital twin. You don't want to start seeing the screen from Phil showing it to a few minutes. You're not going to believe your eyes on what you're going to see because it feels like you're physically in that space. And it's basically taking that high quality scanning data, converting it to these high quality 3D textured meshes. And we do that fully automatic process using Amazon Web Services, and we use hundreds of machines in the Amazon Web Services cloud system to automatically, in a few hours, generate these amazing results. And then you're able to do all this design engineering work that Phil will show you with our tools. And that's really part of the magic we're seeing now and how you can take 3D scanning data and generate these amazing environments for manufacturers and other industries that we're serving. And so really happy to be here today and show all the audience of the Howdy Partner program what the kind of cool stuff that we've been doing with Amazon Web Services and being partners with you guys. Quick intro.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. And we're happy to have you. We're super happy to have you here. Like I said, the 3D world is really kicking off. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the solution. So yeah, this is meant to be casual. You know, we're not gonna kill you all with PowerPoints or anything like that. We're gonna showcase
No
the
PowerPoint.
solution here. So yeah, none at all. We love that. So floor is yours, guys. Go for it. Let's see Prevu3D.
Don't forget to unmute yourself, Phil.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen now. It should be in the room, so maybe we can start by quickly showing what we're doing. So what I will present over here is our desktop application. It's a 3D model that has been created from a terrestrial point cloud. So we use terrestrial scanners to capture the space that has built. We take that point cloud and convert it automatically to a 3D model using AWS in our meshing pipeline. All the process is fully automated. So what you see over here has been created within 4 hours after starting the treatments of the data. So as you can see, I can walk around the space. It's super smooth. And that's actually the 3D model that has been created from the raw data of the scanner.
So this is a 3D model. This isn't the actual camera footage.
No, exactly. So this is actually a 3D model. It's not pictures. We still have the pictures, but this is actually the 3D model, and I can even show the triangles and the 3D models over here. So that's actually the geometry that we have.
So there's a question here about if you can use a VR headset. Absolutely, we are VR ready, so you can use our application to navigate and explore the space in VR, and that's definitely a great experience because, as you can see, this is close to photoreal, the best you can ever see. Just taking from a scan data and generating these type of fully interactive environments.
Exactly.
Philippe, real
Yep.
quick, do you know how big the file was that you started out with, and what you ended up with?
Yeah, this one is roughly 78 gigabyte, roughly, and we reduced it to a deliverable of roughly 5 gigabyte. So our compression rate is around 95% of the initial file size, typically.
Awesome. Thank you.
So yeah, it make it much easier to handle because we do receive sometimes. This one is over here is a small mechanical room for us. Um, it has like 60 terrestrial scan that has been taken to do that room, but we do have much larger project than that. And sometimes once you have like a full facility, you can easily reach like 1 terabyte of data, and that become like pretty useless if you don't have something like Prevu3D to convert it and make it consumable. And we also have a web platform that allow our user to stream the data, so you don't have to download anything locally. So we do have a web version as well on the web platform.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to ask. Where you're viewing this now, is this a desktop application or are you viewing it in a browser?
So over here, this one is the desktop version of our software. So the data is locally on my computer after being converted to a mesh. And we also have a web platform as well, which has a bit less feature. It's more for viewer side. And the desktop version is more advanced feature wise. We have like engineering tools and things like that.
Got it.
So one of our most advanced feature is the cutting tool, where you can easily select an area like this, close with your first point, and then select the height level like this, and everything in color could be extracted. So I could name that pump 1, hit confirm, and easily start manipulating the space. So like over here, I just extracted that component, and now it's an asset on its own that I can take and move around. So it becomes super useful for layout management and layout design and things like that.
Okay, that is super cool. So does it cut out those polygons, I guess, and sort of just wrap them up into a group? Then you can label it whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cutting the geometry. So it's the mesh cutting tool that we call internally, and yeah, we once it's extracted, it become an asset on its own. When I right click on those type of assets, I have multiple uh, features, so like I can even duplicate that model. So it's very useful for planning purposes.
Very cool.
We also can take measurements from the scene. Obviously, it's 3D data, so that's one of the most common feature. But we can take quickly measurements in the scene. So for a lot of engineers, it's very important to check clearance, come up with new design, things like that. Yeah.
Looks like we have a question in the chat. Can you import things into the model as well and scale it to fit the space?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we can import CAD models and mesh file. So I can even do it over here. We have the 3D library, and from the 3D library, you can import your own models. So if you have um, a lot of our users use CAD software like SolidWorks, Inventor, CATIA, so 3D design software, and you can we mostly support all formats to bring them inside Prevu3D. So you can import um, an asset, let's say like over here, a step file, which is one of the most common format. Bring that inside Prevu3D. You can change the scale if you would like, change the units of the files. And once it's done, it become part of your 3D library, and you can take that asset and place it in the scene quickly. So you can import external model like this.
Hart said, I agree. That is very cool.
Oh no, that's a lot of work, but yeah, it's super cool. And once you do that, you can also use the third person and create your own avatar like this. And as you can see, this is me. And I can walk
looks
around.
like you.
And I can walk around the space.
Virtual Phil, yeah.
Yeah. And check if it does fit, yes or no. So it become really like a video games in a certain way. So we gamify the engineering process. So yeah.
So this, I guess, this makes me wonder: can you put multiple avatars? Like, can two people enter the same space and I guess collaborate in some kind of way?
So this is actually available with the web version only. So with the web version, if we connect two users at the same time in the space, we will see each other in the space, floating around. So yeah.
Are there specific types of scans that a customer would have to use, or like scanning equipment that they would have to use? Or is it just any kind of scan? Does it have to be scans? Could it be photogrammetry? Drone footage? I don't know.
You want to answer that one, Michel?
Yeah, sure. So typically, in the case of manufacturing, people will use terrestrial scanners, basically scanners on a tripod to do the scanning, or they'll use mobile scanners like backpack type of scanners that you walk around the space and capture. That's typically what manufacturers will use. We can certainly also import output from photogrammetry or drone data. And so these are definitely possible, but typically manufacturers will prefer to use a terrestrial scanner or a SLAM mobile scanner for higher accuracy and speed as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Does Prevu3D offer the ability to scan spaces for your customers, or does a customer have to bring in their own model?
So we don't do scanning ourselves. We have a lot of partners and different scanning providers that we know worldwide. So we can definitely help you find a scanning provider. For example, this data set comes from Binstream, which is one of our great partners in the Boston area. And so we can certainly help our customers if they want to have a scanning provider. We do have some customers that will buy scanners based on their requirements. But often, people will just outsource to a scanning provider, and it certainly can help you in that process.
Got it.
So over here is another type of scene. It's an exterior scan with a bit more piping. So yeah, it's for you to see different environment could be useful. There's a lot more details in there with small components. Yeah. I'll try to walk around smoothly.
One key thing that we've done is that you look at traditional CAD software, and they're very hard to learn, right? And if you were to recreate just that into a CAD application, it would take quite a long time. So starting with a 3D mesh like we're doing, accelerate the whole process. And like we've shown in this presentation, if you have CAD data or BIM data, you certainly can bring it in and combine those things together and create these really rich environments that help manufacturers and owner operators and even engineering companies to create the better visual context on the facility and really help the design process, the collaboration process. We're even seeing customers using this for doing health and safety planning procedures to really help understand complex, dangerous areas that would be a lot harder to explain in just a regular video or with a few pictures.
No, definitely. And then, so once you have your scan, I guess, how easy is it to label, the different areas? Maybe can I put a description of what this machine is, what it does, the dimensions of it? Can I sort of add that information to this model? How hard or easy is that to do?
So we can do it with the annotation tools like this, where you can easily add tags in the scene to document your space. So like you can come up on an equipment like this, put like a small annotation, enter some tags, description, and also attachment. So if you have like a maintenance sheet, data sheet, PDF files, it can be even like drawing URL to the website of the equipment provider, for example, or the support contact, things like that. You can start attaching any information in your space. So that's the first version. And Michel, I'm not sure if you want to talk about the vision and what's coming up next, or
Yeah, so our mission as a company is like we first wanted to make 3D scanning data usable in new ways, like you're seeing here. These are unique visuals. Nobody else has this type of visual quality out of a 3D scan. And so what we're going now is towards making that data more intelligent, understanding the space itself, understanding how we can help not only the design engineering process, but also to help maintenance operations department, for example, to connect all your enterprise related data. That's something we're looking to work on now and bring, more integrations with Amazon Web Services on, how to connect IoT telemetry data, how to bring asset inventory management solution, and so on, to really create a compelling, rich environment. This is sort of becoming the user interface to enterprise data. If you click on this, you see this here, anybody's going to understand the space. If I show you a CAD version or a 2D CAD version of that same space, you're not going to understand it. This is very visual. This gives you full context. So if you want to just like have a maintenance operator changing a valve or a spare parts, and they connect to this and see the asset inventory, do I have the spare parts available? And then I'm going to fill in my work order and go on the field and use this and really find where I need to go and making sure I'm doing the right work, documenting my task, and then pushing this back to my asset inventory system for an update and the work order being completed. And that's really where we're going as an organization, to really make this as sort of the front end to all this kind of information that you have in the enterprise, and enabling different workforces and different departments in the company in a way that you would not have imagined that a few years back.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, if you're just looking at, the CAD model itself without all the extra context, I can definitely think it's way less valuable. It doesn't
Or
give you as
worse,
much
looking at a 2D
information.
drawing.
Yeah, 2D.
And also, like,
What is this?
and
90s? No, I'm kidding.
It was a great
And one
decade.
thing we're doing now, we just released this. We don't have it in this specific demo data set, but now we can actually import the CAD model equivalent of those 3D scans and connect the data together. So clicking on the 3D version of the mesh model here, but suddenly having access to all your BIM metadata and other information that you have. And it's really creating these new visuals, these new interactions that are really compelling, right? Like, pictures is worth 1,000 words. Well, a 3D visual digital twin like we create is worth, savings, hours of misunderstanding, and really providing the richest context out there. And that's really what we're about. And I know we had a few good questions earlier on in the presentation. If you have any questions online, like, feel free to ask away. We're definitely here to answer any questions. Obviously, this is like bleeding edge innovation. So a lot of people are still learning about this stuff, and we're more than happy to assist you and answer your questions during this webinar or outside like this webinar. We're always available to help companies on their journey of this digital transformation and industry 4.0 journey in creating these type of environments that are completely unique to the market space.
I think what Michel is saying is he's tired of hearing us ask questions. So please jump in. He's over me and Jerry. But I do have just a request. Philippe, can you get in closer to some of these models so that people can see, it's not just a high level, it doesn't just look good from far away, but, typical, or back in my day, LiDAR scanning was in its infancy, and so places that were dark were very difficult to render, and like all these different, you can see the little pipes behind, and you can see all of the valves. Those were very difficult, not very high quality. So I really want people to, who are maybe in similar industries, kind of appreciate what these scans are capable of now, and how you can, again, it's not just, it doesn't just look good from far away, but you can really get in there and see the current state of things. Thank you.
It's,
Yeah, no,
it's the
actually,
highest quality detail copy you'll ever have. Like even if you do a CAD version, it will be a simplified version. This is really getting to the nooks and crannies of the details of what's in the space. And specifically when you think about, a lot of manufacturing sites, they're not perfect. Things are, rusty and new, old, like, oil and gas sites, for example, are 100-year old. These are complex sites with a lot of details, and as much as you want to do a lot of great CAD work, this is giving you the highest fidelity that you can ever get on your facility.
Definitely. If we could, I think what would be awesome if we could do now, I see a lot of different buttons on the screen, and I have no idea what those buttons do. Could we do just a quick overview of the UI and maybe what these different, just the layout of the application and what the different views are and buttons and everything?
Yeah, sure. I can start with the left side panel over here where we have the navigation modes. So the first one is the free view, which is the one I use. It's similar to video games with WHD. You can walk around the space like video games, or you can also use the mouse only. So with the left click, you can rotate around, zoom in, zoom out, things like that to move smoothly in the space. But we also have more navigation mode like the photospheres that could be interesting. So the photosphere is the actual 360 images that's been taken during the scanning process. So like typically the terrestrial scanners, how they work is they are sitting on a tripod, they are rotating for around 2 minutes, capturing millions of points. But not only that, they also take a 360 pictures that we use to texture project on top of the mesh. So we convert first the point cloud to a mesh and then use texture projection algorithm to get that visual look very accurate and close to the picture. So that's why, like over here, I'm inside of 360 images. I can switch between 360 images, so I can jump from one station to another. But if I switch back to the fly mode, you will see the 3D model is pretty similar to the actual picture.
I can't tell the difference. I don't know which one's which. That is awesome.
So sometimes the 360 images can be valuable to get more information that might be harder to see with the 3D scan or might have not been captured during the scans, especially for small components, things like that. So it's a good way to fall back on something if there's some missing information sometimes. And then we have more immersive navigation mode, like the third person that I was showing, where you can walk around your space and better understand the size of it, because sometimes we tend to forget, like when you are inside a 3D space, it's sometimes it's hard to understand the size of it.
Yeah.
And it's even better to sit with the VR headset. When you go inside a scene with the VR headset, you realize how big it is. And we also have like forklift like this where you can navigate around. It's the more immersive navigation mode like this. And we also have one that is a bit out of context there, but we also have the Tesla truck. So,
is that a Cybertruck? Oh, that's hilarious.
we had some fun during lunchtime at some point.
You're like, let's put a Cybertruck in there. I'm waiting to see one of those on the streets. Quick aside, I cannot wait to see one. I think it'll look really cool on the streets. Not everyone loves
the vehicle. the vehicle we want to have there is like would be a Mario Kart car. Like all of our developers play Mario Kart for lunch. So if you ever know someone at Nintendo that can give us access to the Mario Kart, that would be a great Easter egg into our product to integrate a Mario Kart vehicle and drive it around with Mario into a facility.
Did I just hear Mario Kart at lunchtime? I think I'm working at the
Yes.
wrong place. No. Just
Okay,
kidding.
calm
Just
down,
kidding.
Jerry. Calm
Just
down.
kidding. To steal that idea. That sounds fun.
Yeah, there's a tournament every year, so it's pretty serious there.
Hardcore.
So yeah, after that, on the middle over here, we have all the tools, I would say. So the first one is the visualization mode. So I had shown you earlier the 3D model over here. So sometimes you don't actually need the colors to do your work. You might just care about the geometry. So that visualization mode offer you that capability. We also have the X-ray mode, which allow you to highlight the edges on components. So from that point of view, it's look useless in a certain way. But if you go in home view like this and you remove the perspective effect, you end up having a floor plan in a certain way. So like you see over here, the column, the nuts over here. So you can see all your piping from a top view. It's pretty similar to a 2D layout, but with more details because you have all the 3D aspect of it. So all the layers are there stacked on top of each other's. And we can export that view over here as a DXF that can be bring into CAD software like AutoCAD. And you would end up with a picture with the right scale that you can compare your existing drawing with the reality.
Oh, well, this is awesome. How does it know? I guess because you take the scan of the space, how can it define all those nuts and bolts? Did you have to submit this X-ray separately, or was it able to just peel this information from the scan?
So over here, this is live. So basically, this is a way that we display the information on our software, and it's just a matter of creating a shader that can display those type of information, basically. So it's not calculated; it's live. So if I crop something out, it will be removed from it. So yeah, it's really like the actual 3D model that we see, but from top view, and it's flattened on a 2D plane.
And do the colors mean anything here? Or is it just to demonstrate you could, say color all the pipes or color all the bulkheads or?
So for the X-ray mode over here, the colors is the distance from the camera, basically. So the red at the moment is the highest level, and the green is the bottom level. So it allows you to understand
Gotcha.
that. And we see it over here with the staircase. So the higher you go on the staircase, it's more red over here. It's darker.
Got it. Neat.
Yeah, we're definitely adding a lot of more capabilities to help visualize, understand the space. Like you said about coloring, this is something that's coming soon where you'll be able to color, for example, your hot water pipes versus your cold water pipes to see, the flow of like specific, liquids and piping, for example, is like one key requirements that we're seeing. And we're going to be adding a lot of these type of capabilities, customization of the coloring of elements to help understand, not just visualize, but understand what you're looking at, understand the context of the environment.
And I think you mentioned before that you are able to bring in or create so from the CAD model, from the original CAD model, you can create it. What I'm thinking is could you do like an overlay from a CAD model for the as designed versus the as built, so that you can call out specific changes?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're definitely have different capabilities, and that's definitely something that you're going to see a lot more into our product in the near future. Is really how to create these different environments, how to compare your CAD to your scan, but also creating different visual experiences to, let's say, because if you're making a change into your facility, let's say, for example, you're installing fire sprinklers, sprinklers into the roof, or how do you understand what's existing and what's the new about, and how do you create these visual environments to better understand the work that's going to be done for the engineering department, for example, right? So there's a lot of ways of creating visuals like that we already been working on, and we're going to add a lot more because it's definitely a hot topic, and how to better understand the space, how it's going to change, and what it means for all stakeholders. And providing that context helps decision making. When you better see what's going on, then you can make better decisions about, is this the right decision, and how we're going to change the space, versus doing a 2D CAD model. You build it and you realize, well, that's not what we need to do. And it doesn't work, and you lose time. You're shut down longer, and that's a lot of cost, a lot of risk. And so, how to minimize that with having a better visual context of this space as a whole.
And I have a follow-up, just to follow up real quick. When people or customers upload, or let's say they're using your software and they're, doing their thing, this is deployed in their AWS account, or is this in Prevu3D? I'm just talking about like, security. If somebody that's watching works, PubSec defense, something like that, how is that data security managed?
Yeah, so all of our environments in Amazon Web Services have been, fully, tested for security. We're SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, so we're very stringent on that. We've passed all of our security tests, audits with all of our top customers. We've got big brand names as customers that have done a lot of testing and making sure that we are secure. Data, there's a lot of different levels of security there that we make sure that everything's working well. And yes, we leverage a lot of the different layers of security and capabilities that Amazon provides as part of the Amazon Web Services development stack to help us deliver quality and secure environments for our customers.
Thank you. Yeah, I know there's a lot of customers that we work with that get very nervous about sharing, a bunch of their data, or if, they've scanned sensitive areas. Even outside of defense, even it could just be very large manufacturing companies that don't want to, like I said, just get nervous or create a little bit of anxiety. But
yeah, I feel like there's a switch there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that for example, like prior to COVID, right, there was a lot of people that suddenly overnight became more cloud friendly because there was no other way to survive the whole COVID situation. And so I think, yes, there's still companies that are in a journey of going into the cloud and learning that this is, yes, there's always the highest risk of security is the last mile, basically the user. If you have bad security user password policies, if you let people run their passwords with, potato1334 as a password, and you let them run with
gotta go change my passwords now. Thanks, Michel.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. But if you have poor last mile security policies where employees don't have secure passwords, you don't have second level security, using your phone for validation of if the user is the right user, with having passcodes and other level of security, that's usually where things break. That's usually where fraudulent activities happen, when you have poor user security level. Then the systems then are as secure as they can be, but if your users are all using the same password, sharing password, and using the same password for years, and weak passwords, that's going to be your biggest failure on security.
For sure. Yep.
Security always top of mind. Phil, I saw you do something on screen there. I the Amazon logo, which we love. But I saw something about a library of models. Can we talk about that a little bit? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's basically we do have an integration with Sketchfab, which is an online library available to mostly anyone. So we do have an integration with them as well, where we can bring the library and basically download 3D model out of it. So let's say we are looking for a ladder. to do the training sessions with new employees and show them some things about you can create easily some scenarios just by looking for some assets. So instead of going through the modeling process and all that, like you won't spend 5 hour modeling that ladder if you can just find it online and download it to your computer and create your scenarios. So like as you can see, I can quickly hit import. Once it's done, it becomes part of my 3D library, and I can just place it in the scene. So quickly, you can start populating your scene. So for users that don't have access to 3D modeling software, it can be a good way to start creating content out of it. So we do have customers that do training sessions with Prevu3D for employee onboarding on a site, for example. That could be a good way. And like I've seen, I found a logo of AWS, and it was quite big. But quickly, I can take those kind of assets and place them in the scene.
For the first time to me, it looks like a banana for some reason. I'm getting a little hungry,
Wait,
clearly.
it's not a banana? I thought for years that was a banana logo.
Yeah,
My
a
God.
banana just shooting right up into the sky. I think you call it a smile. It's a smile.
As you can see here, it's almost like playing Lego with your manufacturing site, right? It's really making it easy. And typically, when we have a new customer, within a few hours, they're able to come in, learn how to use it, cut assets, move assets, create design layouts, share with their colleagues. Typically, if you're doing a design layout with a traditional CAD software, it's going to take you days to get something happening. This is happening in minutes. And like we've seen customers like within the same hour of a conference call, they're looking at things here, and someone's like, "Hey, what about if you change this in the layout?" And then the design engineer will go in, make some quick changes, and then within an hour, like re-sign a new link, like, "Hey, here's a new version of the design layer, concept number 3," and suddenly, oh no, that works better. Now you've just made changes to your facility, and get everybody on board without having to go on site, travel, and all that extra work. And bang, you just have your validation that you're doing the right design work, and then you can go into detail engineering and other elements and construction process and so on. But you've saved so much time validating quickly with all stakeholders in a very easy to use process.
Yeah, I agree. I think the UI looks really approachable. Just from seeing what I've seen so far, it it looks like there's not too much going on, and you could learn this fairly quickly. I agree. In terms of learning the platform, what resources are out there? Are there like tutorial videos, or just someone from Prevu3D? Are they available for like a help me session? What's how you learn that?
Yeah,
Phil, is that you?
Phil flies to your place and stays at your home for a week, and that's how we do
Great.
customer onboarding, right? No, but
Great.
seriously, Phil's definitely driving great engagement with our customers. We provide online training. We have documentation. There's video tutorials. And like I said, this is a very easy to learn product. Like we've seen a lot of users just learn about it, and within the same day, hours, they know how to use it, and they reach out to us when they have specific questions. But it's very, very easy to learn. We've really spent a lot of time in doing UI UX designs to really make this as simple as it can be, even though we're dealing with complex things.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I mean, even just having the integration with Sketchfab, instead of having to download it, import it into there, it's great to just that you've integrated the library into the UI. I think that just makes everyone's life a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, regarding the learning curve, I think within like a few hours, people are already navigating around, cutting things, importing assets. Obviously, we do have more advanced workflow when it comes to like details engineering, constraint tool, things like that. But again, it's like within 1 hour you're up to go. It's just a matter of learning how to doing the process, and we are starting to do more and more documentation. We do have a documentation online, but now we are doing more and more videos teaching our user base how to leverage some tools. So yeah.
about how long, like, so for a facility like this, let's say they've scanned the facility, they've got, their output. How long does it take to do the conversion to get it to be usable like this?
So a deliverable like this, typically on our side, I can show you over here. We do have actually a web platform that look like this. And from there, our users can create new project like this. So yes, I like this, create a project. You can also place it on a map, and it's pretty straightforward. You can pick your type of devices, if it's a terrestrial scanner or a SLAM device, and you drag and drop your E57 files to the point cloud over here. After that, once it's done, you can review it, crop the area that you would like to convert as a 3D model, and once it's launched, you just hit launch processing, and overnight you will have the result. So that room over here was roughly 5 hour, I think, to convert. And we have converted a project recently that was like 2.5 terabyte, and it took like 16, 18 hours. So overnight, you receive your result. You just receive an email telling you that your project is ready to be downloaded, um, and you may access it on the web platform like this. So this is over here, the web platform.
Yeah, so if you compare to other, competing solutions, either they're using only like a single computer in the cloud, or they're using desktop computers. This is like so much faster than anything else you've seen, and it's all automatic. Once you've uploaded the data, the software checks if there's any issue with the data set. You click process, and boom. For the smaller data sets, a couple of hours overnight. For the big ones, like Phil said, and you're up and running. You can already start navigating to the space. You can already start making design changes, create new layouts. It's a very, very quick process. Like even like when you don't have a scan, by the time you get a scanning session done, the data transferred to our application, within a week you can have your digital twin of your space, including the scanning process. It's very, very quick as an environment, and that's something that is one of the key game changers that we've built, is to make this as simple as possible, and make it where you really are able to get into the core of your challenge. Like, I want to redesign my space, I want to expand my space, I want to create new design layouts, and making it as easy and fun as possible. It's important to have fun.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah, we are leveraging a lot of AWS instance to convert that, and it's pretty efficient, honestly. I'm always surprised when I see those big files coming in and like being converted within like a few hours. It's always
That's what we're here
impressive. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why we love this partnership, right? Because this would not be possible without your collaboration and all these great services and APIs that you have with Amazon Web Services. And this is a great example where this is a very powerful tool, and most people don't realize all the power that we leverage in the back, because it's so seamless and easy that they just think it's like, oh, well, it must be one computer somewhere in the
Magic.
cloud. We have hundreds of machines converting these point clouds to meshes, and it's so incredible the results we're getting. And so, yeah, definitely pretty happy about this, and love what we're getting with Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, we definitely aim to make it as seamless and opaque as possible for the end user, right? They don't need to know what's going on in the back.
Exactly.
So I love that this is just super straightforward. Very cool. Very, very cool.
And also, I don't know if you noticed, but like, we're loading like these fairly big data sets. These are still, even though they've been reduced into a mesh, which is smaller than the point cloud, these are still like typically a couple of gigabytes here and there. And we're loading this up in a few seconds, and boom, you've got, these environments loading up. If you try to even load a point cloud to your computer, it's going to take you so much time to get it on screen. This is like incredibly fast. And, we like to say that we've designed this to run on shitty laptops, right? This is designed to run on very low memory bandwidth and decent graphics card. You don't need the big machine. If you have a big machine, great, it's going to be even better. But it's been designed to be optimized for the typical worker in the manufacturing space. The design engineers don't necessarily have the best machines. They have outdated machines, and they have machines that are not that great, and they still need to do the work. So we're cutting down on time on both how the data becomes more consumable. We cut down time on how this is much faster to do your design iterations. And then we allow the whole collaboration space into our web application running on AWS, where anybody on their laptop or on even like any machine, like basically visualize our web experience and be able to validate, comment, share, and accelerate the whole collaboration process.
Yeah, I think that's a great point and something that should definitely not be overlooked. I think the performance here is really impressive. So like you said, these meshes are really large in size, and to be able to, deliver them instantly with really minimal loading time, even if you can see it's flowing really smoothly, even through the stream. It's really impressive, I think. And I think a good demonstration of the partnership that we have here, because, that's sure utilizing AWS services and resources, but amazing on Prevu3D to design it in a way that is as performant as it is. I think it's super impressive.
Yeah, over here I'm running on the web at the moment. It's like fully streaming the data with AWS, as you can see, and it's loading within a few seconds on my computer. And on our side, we do have our own tiling system on top of the mesh that make it super efficient. So like, no matter what the scale of your space, the performance won't change much. Basically, like, even if the space was 10 times bigger than that, it's still efficient. So that's why we like big complex space with a lot of scans. That's what we like, because that's where you get all those small details.
Feed me data.
Yeah.
Handling these big meshes like a champ. Is there a max size that you can't pass in order for the software to work in its optimal form?
I would say like the biggest project we did so far was 2,000 or 3,000 scan. It was like 2.5 or 3 terabyte, and it was quite massive. Obviously, like on our side, the way it's built at the moment, I would say like space that are larger than 10 kilometers might result in some challenge on our side. But it's just a matter on our side to change a little bit the infrastructure if we want to come up with solutions to support that. It's just for now, our main market is manufacturing sites, oil and gas sites, those type of sites. So usually it's falling below 10 kilometers.
Got it. I remember in the first scan, you mentioned it started off as one size, however many gigabytes, and was reduced down to maybe like 2 or 3 or whatever the number was. Was Prevu3D involved in that size reduction, or did that have to happen before getting imported?
So basically, if you take your point cloud data set, and these will be hundreds of gigabyte often. So in taking the same point cloud and creating a mesh model out of it, we're actually preserving the details, but making the data set much smaller. So in the case of terrestrial scanners, we can reduce all the way up to 95%. In the case of SLAM devices, it's maybe a bit less compression, but maybe like 60% compression. And really, that's just because you're moving from a point cloud data set model to a mesh textured mesh model perspective. And that's basically reducing a lot of the data while preserving the quality and the details. You really see all the same details. It's just that the representation is the same. It's definitely basically how the 3D environment has been created that makes it a lot more compressible without losing fidelity.
Got it.
Maybe
really quickly, sorry, Philip.
Yeah,
if you're just tuning in, welcome to Howdy Partner. If you're just joining us, it's our weekly Twitch series where we bring AWS partners and their solutions hands-on directly to you. And today we have Michel and Phil here from Prevu3D. They're in the middle of showing us how to use Prevu3D to improve efficiency and accelerate design. It's with their digital twin software. Sorry, Phil, I interrupted you there.
Yeah.
What was your thought?
No, all great. But yeah, if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask in the chat. I think it's always great
Yeah.
to provide more details, and we are always happy to answer those type of questions.
Yeah, we like to make things interactive. We like to get the feedback. We're very customer driven. We like to understand the problems that our customers have and how we can create new solutions that will make them more successful. And that's why, for example, Phil is leading our customer success. This notion of customer success is very important to us. Everything we're doing comes back to building better product capabilities to solve the hard problems. So we want to make things easier, better, and that's why you've seen a lot of innovations in this demo so far today on what we've been doing. And from a very small company, we're still a small startup by any reference, but we have leading development team. We have a lot of patents on the technology that we've created because we are at the bleeding edge of innovation to make this type of digital twins so powerful yet easy to use.
Ooh,
it looks easy, but it's hard in the back. In the back, it's really hard to make it easy like this.
They're small but mighty.
Cannot be overlooked how making it look easy, but there's a lot of hard and really impressive engineering and development going on in the background to make this happen. I saw something about tokens on this browser screen here. What are the tokens and how does that work?
It's basically the pricing model goes, you have a yearly subscription for the platform itself, and then you're paying for capacity, storage, and processing capabilities. So there's a sort of a token model behind it. So the more space you have, the more data you want to convert to meshes, then you're going to pay for these required tokens for processing and hosting, per se. So it's really the core system. Very, very similar, like even ourselves when we're paying for usage of the resources that come with Amazon Web Services. So if you use more, you pay more. If you use less, you pay less. Right? It's a very simple model, and it works pretty well for our customers.
Great.
Yeah.
So, oh no, go for it, Phil. Go for it.
As you can see with the web version, it has a viewer where you can quickly access it online and invite collaborators to that platform. So it's pretty easy to access. You don't have to download anything on your computer. It's just you invite right click on a project, enter the email, send the invite. The person can subscribe, gain access to that project, and you can also see all those layouts on the left side panel that are published by the designer that used the desktop application. So typically, for customers, they do have a couple of designers that use the desktop application to move equipment around, things like that, and they publish those changes online where all the external collaborators can view the change, do comments on those design reviews, things like that. And this helps a lot the communication part during the projects because like we mentioned earlier, 2D layouts, it's fine, it does work, but it's hard to understand, and a lot of people have difficulties to understand new layouts based on the 2D drawing. And when we show those type of layout inside the 3D space like this, now people understand what's going on and they can provide more insight and valuable design reviews.
I just kind of want to pile on. Sorry, Jerry. I just want to pile on real quick to something you pointed out before that I think can't really be stressed enough if you're not super familiar with this space, and that don't be fooled by how easy this looks. The magic is in making this look, it's almost not impressive. You're like, okay, you put a picture up. The journey from point A to point B is wild. It cannot be overstated how powerful it is to be able to make it look it's a lot of work to make it as unimpressive looking as it is. If you're, like I said, if you're not in this space, if you've never had to use a LiDAR scan, any kind of scan, for this purpose, without software like this, it just simply cannot be overstated how incredible this is to be able to have something in this state in a few hours. I mean, even if it took a day, yeah, it just cannot be overstated. So I just want to point that out to the people who maybe have never done this firsthand. I can suggest to you to go and try it and do it yourself if you're, a glutton for punishment. But
Yeah, Lawrence, I think one great point that you're bringing is like often with customers, this feels like a bit daunting sometimes with like, oh, well, we're so not there for this. But actually, one of the key of success we're seeing is customers just doing an initial pilot project, just pick a space in your office, your facility, and we're going to help you get it scanned, and we're going to create a full replica of your environment, and you can start doing your own experimentation and discovery. And it's so useful to accelerate the conversation within the company because now you have something that people can relate. It's your own space in a digital copy instead of like just some demos that we can provide. And we do that all the time. We help our customers build these pilot projects, proof of concepts. And if you want to embark in this journey and discover how you can digitize your facility and use the tools that we have, for example, reach out to us and we can help you build these really quick pilot projects. And it makes a huge difference because then you're really talking with something tangible in your hands that can really engage the conversation. And that's something that's really, really powerful for that.
Super powerful, incredibly powerful. And it is about those tiny steps, right? Because we work with a lot of companies that are customers that are very large companies. And even among large companies, there can still be this kind of hesitation that you have to have all of your ducks in a row, that you have to have access to all of these things, that you have to have all of the infrastructure set up already before you can utilize any of that. And a lot of our jobs as specialist SAs, and I know Jerry's as a partner SA, is kind of, popping that myth or busting that myth, if you will, to let people know that you don't need a lot to get started. I mean, you really just need a scan, right? You don't even have to buy the scan. You can rent them. You can get somebody to do it. It doesn't have to be in-house. You don't have to train people up. It's available. And these small prototypes that are available, or these small POCs, are worth the amount of time, and it's not a lot of time that it takes, so it's worth that investment in our experience, both professionally, currently my AWS professionally, and previously in industries that I've worked in. Nothing is more powerful. We can sit here and do a pitch all day, but to be able to do that small POC just to prove that let's take this small thing and you can show them how quickly it can be done is incredibly powerful.
I think the moment
all of our go on, Phil. That's right.
Yeah, I think the moment you see your own space inside Prevu3D, that's where you say like, wow, that's where I'm actually working, and I see my own sites in there. And it's like, on our side, we do have our own office that has been scanned multiple times, but every time I put the VR headset and I jump inside the VRs, like inside our own office with the VR headset, I'm like, whoa, I'm back at the office even from home. And like it's
like
weird.
it's an inception moment. It gets so
Yeah.
realistic. You're like, which one's
Exactly.
real, which one's not? They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
So
want
if
to
you want to know more
I just
about
want to
this,
call out real quick.
Yeah.
There's a comment that says this is amazing, but the username is tortas en horchata, and I just want to say that's the best username. So
I will
it
second
is
that.
pretty
Fantastic
cool.
username.
Love it. Go
Yeah,
on,
for
sorry.
anyone that's interested to know more, go to our website, click on the contact us page. Our team is always available to engage and understand what you're trying to do, understand your business, and see how we can help you to be successful. This digital transformation journey is still very new for most people, and we're there to assist you. And we're definitely with Amazon Web Services as well. We can work with both teams to help you get to the discovery phase of building a digital twin all the way to using this for different purposes, from design engineering projects to maintenance operations department and so on. We're definitely there to help you start the journey and get to a place where you're going to be transforming your business like you never thought you would be before.
And to double down on that, if you are an AWS customer and you saw this link on, any of our LinkedIn pages, you can feel free to reach out to Jerry or I on the AWS side to get you hooked up. If you already have an account team, we can work with the account team. So any of those routes are totally acceptable, and would be really excited to get you linked up.
Yeah, that's sort of my question. So I guess, say I really like what I see here. What's the best way of getting started?
Sorry, I was muted. So a couple of ways. One, yes, you put the link. You can sign up yourself, which is truly self-service. But what we find is that a lot of companies are still learning about this stuff, right? So if you want to have us help you in the process, that's where people like Philippe and our account managers and our entire customer success team are there to really help you understand what are the best steps to create a digital twin. And like we said, we have partners that are working with us and doing 3D scanning sessions, and we can create from pilot projects all the way to that full journey of being one of your partners in creating these digital transformations and creating these environments. This could be your site, this could be your facility, fully digitized and really capable of creating new ways of understanding your space without having to travel there. You want to make changes to your space, cutting it, designing it like Phil showed us today. And that's really how we're seeing how this world is changing in having these type of tools at your fingertips that you didn't have a few years back, and making this easy to use and easy to operate.
You mentioned cutting there. Phil, can we see the cutting feature one more time? I think I can look at that all day.
Yeah, sure. I can
I
jump
love
back.
it. I love
will,
the animation where it just disappears. It's so smooth.
Yeah, I can do it over here with the bigger asset. Oh, I'm not logging anymore since seems like my session expired there. Let me log in back to the hub. All right. Oop. Should be good now. All right. Sorry for that. Yeah, I just got disconnected.
No worries.
All right. Now, yeah, from the desktop application, we can even do it with a larger asset like this one, and you will see that animation there a bit longer.
Oof, that is quite a large cut.
Remove that pump. Well, I'm not too sure what this is, a boiler or something like that. We can select the height level and keep the floor. Let's see, boiler. Hit confirm, and now like it start cutting the assets right away.
Cool. Oh, she's a beauty.
Exactly.
It's melting.
It's a neat little little addition there that it really does look like it's melting.
We're easily entertained over here.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah.
We had
Actually,
a
I want
hard
to take
time.
a moment. As Phil is doing this, I want to just also say hi to Jacob that's listening to us today. And I know he's learning how to do digital twin modeling at an early age. So good stuff, Jacob.
Fantastic.
Hi, Jacob.
Hello, Jacob. You got a howdy from the whole squad here.
He's going to surpass us in no time.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Is there anything else from the platform that you'd like us to
One
to
thing
highlight
that could be
here?
interesting to show up is the fact to be able to publish layouts online. So from the desktop application over here, I created multiple layouts in over here. This an example that one of my colleagues did recently for a trade show, for example, and we did convert that scene and import CAD models like this. We even cut that wall over here in the back and created new rooms, move some electrical panels. And what is fun with that is once it's done, you can publish it online. So we have over here an option to share that layout online. Once you click on it, it will publish it on the web version. So now all the external collaborators can access it. So if I switch back now and I open the web browser, I can go on my project. And now we see on the left side panel, I do have the same exact, like the demo one over here, faster design iteration layout that I can open quickly. And I can also create share link and send it over email to someone, or also like on Teams, for example. And it's like, hey, look at this. I created new layouts. Can you provide me with your feedbacks? So you can quickly access those models online like this. So it's the same room, all the chains are there, but it's on the web now. So it's a bit more efficient in a certain way to collaborate.
Yeah, definitely. And is it anyone with a link can access it, or can you set permissions at all? How does that
Yep.
work?
We do have a lot of different permissions, role management capabilities. We have like different layers, so we can invite people at the organization level, for example, and you will have access to multiple projects. We can also restrain access to project base, folder base, and we can also make it layout base to invite on a specific layouts on. So we can create a share link on a specific layout, send it over. So the user doesn't have to create an account in that case. But yeah, it's a lot of parameters that we can play with there.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely see that being really important. There's definitely, some scans you want the whole world to see. So it's good that's integrated into there.
Yep.
That's it. So a quick tour of our product. There's a lot more stuff, of course, if you want to go deeper dive on some advanced engineering capabilities and so on. And like I said, we're always adding more capabilities, more features. We're definitely listening to our customers. Again, if you want to go into this digital transformation journey, reach out to us, reach out to Amazon Web Services. Together, we can create you these amazing experiences, create new ways of understanding the space, understanding how you can collaborate with your stakeholders. And that's really, we're at the beginning of that fun world that we're creating, and that's really going to be game changing for a lot of manufacturing companies and other industries in the future that are still just discovering this for the first time. So thank you everyone for having joined us today and learning more about what we do at Prevu3D and with the help of our amazing partner at Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. Michel and Philippe, amazing. I learned a lot. Always excited about our partnership, and yeah, just a good time.
Same here. I think this was great. We got to really get a great view of the software and its different features. I think this was a really fun hour where you could just dive into it. That's what I love about these. We kind of just skip all the PowerPoints, skip all the hoopla, just dive right into the solution. So
Show me the
I feel like
goods.
I have a way better idea about what Prevu3D is now, having seen it live in the flesh. So this was great. Thank you, Michel. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thanks,
evening.
everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. And be sure to tune in next Wednesday, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for Howdy Partner. All right. See y'all.
Ciao.